Really, the best thing if you have a friend with cancer is to do things for them. I mean, it's great if you just bring them a meal, if you shovel their walk, if you walk their dog. It's better to do things than to ask them what they want sometimes. I mean, it's a common reaction to say, I mean, how can I help? And it's always well intentioned, but sometimes that gives the person with cancer one more thing to think about, or one more thing to decide. But if you just drop things off, it can be extremely helpful. It's also important not to tell people what to do. If if you've had cancer, it's very reasonable to say, this is what I did, this is what I found helpful. But that's very different from saying, this is what you should do. So keep things focused on your own experiences and what makes sense to you, but don't give prescriptive advice. The other thing that often happens is when someone says, I was diagnosed with cancer, people always say something like, you'll be fine. There's this immediate response to reassure people that they'll be okay. And when you say that, it's not really helpful, because when you say that, what the person hears is that you don't really want to talk about it. It's much better just to say, well, how are you doing with that? When you say reflexively, you'll be fine, it really cuts off conversation. And the most important thing to do is to listen. And when we work with volunteers here, we spend a lot of time on listening skills, and people should not feel pressured to fill up silent space. Sometimes the person with cancer just needs space, and sometimes they want to think out loud and say what they're thinking without getting input. And if you can sit there and listen and keep your mouth shut, that's what a real friend does.